Hello, Fredak here. Fred ACC, all one word. Alrighty, it is Wednesday, May the 14th. It is about 6:15 p.m. East Coast time. XRP is at about $2.55, $2.56, right about there. Alrighty, I want to thank you all for being here. And I hope whoever's new is subscribing. You check out the Fredak past postings. The general idea is to leave a legacy behind of an archive that is absolutely free, that you can come and increase your knowledge's power base. Fredak has notes. God help us. Alrighty. First, we've got to start off with the usual. This is not financial advice, just the ideas that are swirling around in Fredak's head. Beware of the scammers. Speaking about this on every posting, the scammers are out there. They're everywhere. What is it? The wolf in sheep's clothing. There's ones out there that are offering to help you out. What I find very interesting is that there's all different companies sprouting up connected to crypto. What does that tell me? It tells me that there's a future in the crypto world. Will it be XRP or XYZ? I don't know for sure. I think I do, actually. I think it's XRP. And the surge we've had in the last week or so, I think we're getting pretty close to game change. Game change to when we run up to, 6, 7 times the price now, 8 times the price, and on our way towards 20 times where we're at now, $2.55. Where do we start here? I got something, the stock market up 1,000. Yeah, a couple of days ago it was up on some kind of news. The stock market was up 1,000. Generally speaking, the high tide raises all the boats. Pretty much. On a day where the stock market is up 1,000 points and the NASDAQ is up a very decent amount and the S&P 500 is up a decent amount, most of your stocks out there are going to be up a decent amount. But if a company had some kind of extremely negative news, they might actually be down, and down quite a bit. If there's some kind of pilfering going on, the books are being cooked, you could have an Enron type of collapse. So, high tide doesn't raise all the boats, and low tide doesn't lower all the boats. On a day where the markets are down huge, you could have an individual company. They make some kind of a very positive announcement, and they're accumulating that stock, the individuals. They're buying it, and it's on the upside that day. Let's transfer that idea over to the crypto world. And yes, I see some of the big talking heads, Gronko and all these different names that are like, might as well be out of Greek mythology or whatever, but it's fantastic. And many talking heads are they're quoting, Gronko said this, or Smokey said that, or Spunky this, or Tadpole that, or... Alrighty, it all sounds good, but at the end of the day, what's the price at? But they're starting to mumble about decoupling. That XRP is starting to decouple away from these other big ones. Somebody mumbled about decoupling a while ago, maybe a couple of months ago. Oh yeah, that was Fredak. Fredak was talking about the decoupling that's going on. And I personally think when XRP becomes utilized and it becomes the go-to thing and all the rails are being put in place, you can see it out there. You don't have to be a brain surgeon. But I also believe when XRP starts to run, it's going to approach a level where it's tough to buy a decent amount for the small individual solo investor, the Fredaks of the world, the 9-to-5ers. How much are you going to buy at $2.55? They're not buying 20,000 of them, 40,000 of them. Some are. And I guess you hear about these whales that are in there buying 600,000, 1.5 million of them. That's all well and good. And you know they're not doing it based on just a flip of a coin or an inkling that they had or a fortune cookie that they opened. Oh no, they're doing their homework. So if the whales are accumulating this, then I want to be accumulating this. Alrighty, let's go back over to our notes here. Hello! When you get that hello, that means tune in a little bit. Knowledge is power. And I hope you're all subscribed out there so you don't miss some of my future postings, whether it's on credit card debt, day trading the stock market, when it might be time to dabble into the real estate world. Now is not the time. It would look like tough times are coming in the near future. But at any rate, hello! Think about it, another analogy. Do you really need to know from somebody that your house is on fire, that your house is burning? Heck no! I needed you to let me know that there was some loose wires and stuff that might cause my house to go on fire. And that's what these postings are all about from FredAc, trying to prepare you for the near future, before the other talking heads are glowing about it. So there's a lot of change underfoot. Things have been kind of quiet the last couple of weeks with XRP. Somewhat, it's wavering down here in the low twos. Holding its own very, very well. My gut feeling, and I've given out a lot of different reasons for all this, why I think there's a game change that's coming very near soon. Very soon, very near soon. Very, very poor grammatically spoken. But, like I've said on many of my postings, if you're here for the aesthetics, you're in the wrong place. If you're here for the knowledge, you're in the right place. Knowledge is power. Alrighty, so the talking heads, we mumbled about that already. Why do you need to subscribe and keep your eye on FredAc? Well, FredAc is going to kind of guide you through the upsurge that I think we're going to have. There's no guaranteeing it may not happen. And hopefully you dabbled into XRP along with me back when it was cheap. And if not, if you got in now, that's okay. Because you know what? If the thing breaks $10, $12, $16, $58, $580, you'd look back and you'd say, glad I stepped in and grabbed a little bit at $2.55. Because it's changing my financial landscape. If you really think about it, how many stocks can you buy at $2.55 that could easily start to surge, that everybody's getting involved with it, and it starts to run up to the 60s, 70s, 80s, triple digits, over 100, over 600, over 800, over 1,000, over 2,000, over 3,000. Now, of course, these things are probably going to take time. If time is on your side, then you're in great shape. I also posted something on how to scale out when you have something that turns into a huge winner. Now, we're not as a huge winner yet, but the posting is there. Continue to scale off 10%. You continue to sell 10% of the 100 that you own. First shot, you're selling 10 of them. Now you got 90. Next upsurge, you're selling 10% of what's left. 90, that's 9. The next upsurge, 10% of 81. You round that down to 8. You sell 8 of them. If you had 100 of those Bitcoins, and you'd still probably own 1, 2, 3 of them, you'd be able to sit tight and see if this thing ever runs up towards like 200,000-300,000. Me personally, I think it might have had its run. I just don't see it at this price as being playable by the everyday person. It's outside of their league. So what ends up happening? Who's chop trading that thing up and down? The big money people. And they know the game that they're playing. And that's also why I think that there's a strong rationale towards why they'll gravitate to whatever smaller item becomes the go-to cryptocurrency. The one that they can make the most money on the bid, on the offer, on the spreads, buying and selling, shorting it. And the big money, they have a good sense of the pain thresholds of where people accumulated at earlier in the day, later in the day. But if you subscribe to FredAc, I am trying to figure out some kind of a correlation, whether it's based on the time of the day, the evening. This stuff moves 24/7. Christmas, Thanksgiving, it's always on the move. Is there a lull on Sundays, Sunday evenings? Is that the time to consistently buy on a Sunday evening into whatever, XRP, let's just say, and then turn around 12 hours later by Monday at 10, 11 in the morning? Are you consistently making money time over time over time? A little bit of sun in the eyes. We don't like that. Eyes aren't that good anyway. So that's what we're looking to figure out. Okay, so Fred Ack's going to have some numerous postings in the near future. Consumer debt is on the rise. Credit card debt is on the rise. Student loans are getting called in. As I've posted recently, has to start to make you wonder what's going on the undercurrent. What's going on with the administration that they see going on financially? And are they trying to steer us towards a recession? Sometimes it's like a controlled burn. A recession could actually be a good thing to wash out a lot of the speculators. Think about that. That could be in play. There's that sun. That's my signal to call it a day. Alrighty. May all your days be winning ones. Thanks for stopping by. Subscribe to Fred Ack. Any comments you might have? Love to see the comments from people all around the world, future millionaires. We're almost getting ready for Game Change. When you see that Fred Ack posting on Game Change, get in on that one, because that's the one that's going to tell a lot about the store. We'll be on the move. All you need to do is just look at the postings sporadically over the last 5-6 weeks. Let's think about it. Back in January, that's not like years and years ago, this thing was over $3. A week ago, 2 weeks ago, it was under $2. So some pretty decent swings. Alrighty, may all your days be winning ones.